Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Look, I'm about to go fishing. But I said, let me do these videos before I go. William Zepeda, Tevin Farmer, Bruce Carrington, Emiliano Vargas. You know, Michaela Mayer too, she gets busy. But let me tell y'all something. William Zepeda is going to be a hard fight for anybody out there. His pressure, nonstop punching to the body upstairs. He's keeping his hands up better. But it did look like he got hurt a couple of times in that fight when Tevin Farmer landed on him. Tevin Farmer just couldn't sustain the attack. I know something happened to Tevin Farmer's hand or elbow or arm. His left hand, his power hand, at like the second round. But Tevin Farmer and Zepeda, I just think for Shakur Stevenson and all these other fighters who want to fight Zepeda, they better know what they're getting into, because pop shotting, that shit's not gonna work. You gotta have some serious power, great timing, and speed to really punch in between the shots that Zepeda's throwing. And I'm just gonna say this: William Zepeda, I don't know what the story is. I'm going to call him a clean fighter for now. But all I'll say is, when a guy has that kind of output, it's hard, man. It's hard to do anything. You can't keep him off you. It's hard. It's hard to get in there, man, and get a victory over him. Tevin Farmer, he had Zepeda's number, man. You could just see, man, he was just one punch away. He was hitting him with shots and hurting him, man. I was like, damn, he about to drop him, about to knock him out. But it's like Zepeda, it's like he tells himself, I'm not going out like that. I'm not going to quit. And remember, his dad, I don't know if y'all heard the story, he came from a fishing village. His dad ended up passing away through doing what he loved, fishing. And Zepeda kind of bounced around with people, and so he grew up without I think a father and a mother. But anyway, he fights with a different type of passion. So for anyone to get in the ring with Zepeda, they have to know what they're getting into. Tevin Farmer, to me, the guy who stole the show was Tevin Farmer. I mean, Tevin Farmer's tough, man. He can fight, but he's tough. He doesn't show any emotion in there. When he's in there and these bing-bings are raining on him, he doesn't really show emotion. He reminds me of Miguel Cotto, where Miguel Cotto be in a fight and get hurt. And you know he's hurt, but he wouldn't show it. You know he's hurt because he may, retreat or circle the ring. But Miguel Cotto never really showed any emotion. And that's how Tevin Farmer is. But Tevin Farmer had every excuse to quit last night. Take a knee. Man didn't take his knee. His corner was shouting at him to take a knee, and he just didn't do it. So to me, the true winner of that fight last night, even though he lost, was Tevin Farmer. I know Tevin Farmer felt like he was robbed. Look, he didn't do enough to win the fight. He did enough to get us to say that he's a dog and he deserves another big opportunity. But he didn't do enough to win the fight. That's just my opinion. But that is not a jab at him. Tevin Farmer, man, for a guy to have been working with Eddie Hearn, become a champion, then end up losing his belt, going into an inactive state, come back to the sport. They throw him in there with Maratai, was it? I can't remember, but anyway. Then they threw him in there with Zepeda. And he almost beat Zepeda in the first fight. And even in this fight, it was a competitive fight, but Zepeda just outworked him. To see what Tevin Farmer's been able to do, knowing that he came into the sport at age 18, 19, and he made a good point. Look, I came into this sport damn near 20 years old, and I'm out here hanging, competing, and beating guys who had, 150, 300 amateur fights. So Tevin Farmer makes a very good point. And if he would have started boxing even younger, who knows what would have happened? Maybe his career wouldn't be so good. Maybe he would have had too much wear and tear. You just don't know. But the bottom line is, Tevin Farmer deserves the gold star. That man, he just really impressed me, man. He's a tough individual, and you almost got to shoot him. Like it with Zepeda, you got to shoot Zepeda to slow him down. With Tevin Farmer, you got to shoot him in order to really get in there and get and get I would say a how do I want to say it? When it comes to Tevin Farmer, to get a really definitive victory over him, you got to damn near shoot him, man, because he's not going to quit. Even when he had every right, every opportunity to quit that fight, he didn't. And then he came back and was dominating. So very impressive. Now Bruce Carrington, Shushu is another one of those fighters, man. I'm watching Shushu last night, and he's just in there looking bored, looking kind of lackadaisical and disinterested. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And the whole time he's making the other fighter get comfortable so that he can hit him, he can counter him, he can get him to open up. And I said, that was amazing to watch. Bruce Carrington come in there cool, calm, collective, and knowing that his opponent is going to be so focused on his offense, trying to hurt Shushu, that Shushu knew that that would allow the opponent to open up where he could land his perfectly placed jab, right hand, uppercut, land his perfect shots in between his opponent's punches and possibly get the stoppage. And that's exactly what he did. So Bruce Carrington is showing some serious IQ here, some serious IQ. To come in here and take guys who haven't been stopped and to stop them in the way that he's doing is just impressive. So for him to call out Nick Ball, I don't think it'll be as easy of a fight, but definitely a winnable fight. My concern about Shushu and Nick Ball is not Nick Ball having heavy hands and not Nick Ball's work rate. It's Nick Ball short. You could see when Nick Ball gets under his shots and comes up with something that hits Shushu that he doesn't see. Kind of like with Tank Davidson and Ryan Garcia. Tank was so short, Ryan wasn't able to land his shots the way he wanted to because Tank was just able to get underneath him, then come back with something. You could see Nick Ball get underneath the shots of Shushu and come in and put hands on him. You know, Nick Ball has fought a lot of tall fighters, and he finds a way to close the gap and win. So I don't see why it would be any different with him being able to get close enough to Shushu to land his shots. So it's going to be interesting to see the game plan that Shushu and his team devise if they can get the Nick Ball fight. Then with Shushu and Bruce and Fulton, I don't know how that goes, but I think Fulton working with Bozy Ennis, I think Fulton is feeling good, but there's something off with Stephen Fulton. I watch Fulton, I don't see a complete fighter. Mentally, there's something off with him. Like I can just look at him and see he's not right. I wish him the best of luck. I don't know what's bothering that man, but there's something bothering him, and it shows up in the ring. He go in there with Shushu, that'll be an interesting fight. I don't know, I think that's a 50-50 fight. Fulton has a lot of experience. But if Shushu comes in there, man, you know, like Zab Judah, trying to be the Brooklyn bully, he could find himself getting outboxed and losing a decision. He can end up in a decision loss to Fulton if he's not smart. But if he comes in there and respects his opponent and sticks to the game plan, what's his name? Shushu could get a big win. Anyway, Bruce Carrington on his way. Emiliano Vargas, I don't know what to say about that young man except people need to hold their horses and stop taking to the stupid. Talk about Emiliano Vargas needs to come out here and stop fighting tomato cans and why hasn't he fought for a title and his dad's afraid to let him run with the Lions. Hey, you, McNicholas, stop taking it to the stupid. Easy. You want to take Emiliano Vargas and just throw him in there with the goddamn Lions? That's dumb. That's stupid. There ain't no rush. You got to understand, his dad is not going to let his children get thrown into fights that's going to damage them. Their father, Fernando Vargas, everyone sees that man as a hero because they know when he got in the ring, he fought. Win, lose, draw, he fought. He didn't care. But he'll tell you, he felt that he was thrown into fights, very difficult fights, too early. And it was back to back to back. And he's not going to let anyone come and do that to his children, no matter how talented they are, no matter what kind of wins they have. He's going to allow them to take their time, grow with the sport, mature, make sure they have the man strength, make sure they have IQ, make sure they're comfortable. And then when he feels they're ready, then it's like, okay, now let's step it up another notch. Now, Emiliano is stepping up the competition in every fight, but his dad's not going to take him from fighting a guy like who he fought last night and then come down and throw him in the ring with a champion. Like, he's just not going to do that. even though his son could probably win, he's not going to do it, and I respect that. So I don't think we should try to fast track these fighters. There's no need. What's meant to be will be, and I think Emiliano Vargas is on his way. The cat really has power in his right hand and his left hand. He's got IQ. He can box. He's got speed, footwork. He's got everything. He's the total package. So he's looking like he definitely is going to end up landing himself a title opportunity sooner than later. Anyway, y'all keep cool. I'm about to go fishing with my sons. I just came back from exercising. I just wanted to touch up on these guys because they had fights last night. But I'm going to tell you, Tevin Farmer for me, I'm going to do a video on him when I come back. It's only on Tevin Farmer. Like, there's not enough I can say about that guy. Like, I'm very impressed by Tevin Farmer. Very impressed. You know, I want that dude, I ain't gonna lie, I want him to win. I want to see Tevin Farmer make $50 million. You know what I'm saying? Because he's been an underdog. People have disrespected him. They've never given him a chance. And you look at him and where he's at now, what he's been able to do. Guy who's coming to the sport late. Eddie Hearn believed in him. But, you know, it is what it is. You don't have a title. It's kind of, people don't want to mess with you. But to see him come out here really, with not having the machine behind him, and get put in a situation where it's take it or leave it. Like that ring he fought Zepeda in last night, that shit was like a little Lego piece. That wasn't even a fumble. That was like he was inside a little Lego piece. When I saw the ring, I said, oh, this ain't going to be good. So he had nowhere to run. That's why Zepeda was able to just basically pivot. He just pivot, and was on Tevin Farmer's ass. But Tevin Farmer, you know, he held his own. He just got outworked, and he got injured. But if he wouldn't have been injured, you know, maybe he could have got a little more torque on the shots. But the bottom line is Zepeda is just he's a tornado, man. That dude is a natural disaster. When he comes in that ring, it's debris and shit flying around, all kind of shit washing up in the ring. Like, you got to get into the eye of the storm just like by clinching, like what Farmer did. Just, Jesus Christ. What the hell did I get myself into? Because that's the kind of shit that you're dealing with. You're dealing with a natural disaster. Hurricane, flood, tsunami, earthquake, any other natural disasters I left off, avalanche, all that shit is what you deal with when you get in there with Zepeda. So Shakir Stevenson talking about fighting him, you know. Good luck to Shakir on that shit. Or whoever else gets in the ring with Zepeda. If you can't hit and hurt that man, your ass in trouble. That's all I'm saying. Keep cool in the breeze.